Hi everyone, welcome to eLearnChat, where talk is knowledge. And joining me today is Kirsten Rourke, who can talk. Hey Kirsten.
I can. Too much.
Too much.
Talk and talk and talk. That's all she does.
That's all she does, and here's our intro. Well, here we are. Welcome back. And today we have a special edition. We're going to talk a little bit about DevLearn 2014. Both Kirsten and I were there, though you weren't there too long. You pretty much...
I was there for the what I think of as the pre-show, which is the Adobe Learning Summit. So that's attached to DevLearn, but it's right on the front of it.
Yep. And I missed the Adobe Learning Summit, but I got to see DevLearn, and I did see a lot of the folks from Adobe when we were at DevLearn. It was about 2,600 per people show, so it was pretty large. It was at least 1,000 or 1,100 more than last year.
Yeah, DevLearn looks like it's pretty bunch of beast. Like I said, I look forward to going next year.
It'll be fun. It's a fun show. There's a lot of people there, and you know what really irritates me? I don't see anybody I know.
Well, this year, the reason why the numbers were higher is the keynote was Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I don't know if that was the only reason.
I think it was a huge factor.
To me, that's not worth a $1,500 show, considering...
I don't know.
No, the reason why is most of it's on YouTube. Yeah, but most of it's on YouTube already. Though he was good, but you can find it all on YouTube. He's pretty consistent in what he says.
There's some weird geeky science fan thing about
Yeah.
I get to be there. So
I like him. I think he's really good.
Yeah, he did a really good job, and several people got photos with him and have been posting them everywhere, going, "Look!" So it's adorable.
Well, it is actually interesting and nice to see a scientist actually get some recognition.
Yeah, and it's nice to have the education summit for e-learning lead off with someone who's pretty much all about, hey, let's have rational discussions, shall we?
Yeah, the sad thing. The sad thing is,
great idea.
We're not. And he says this all the time. And he says we will be destroyed as a civilization if we don't train new scientists.
Yeah.
We don't train engineers anymore. We barely train scientists. We're not putting out a lot of useful degrees, if I could say that. There's a lot of worthless degrees out there, and and that shows in the unemployment rates too. When people graduate and go, I can't find a job. There's a reason for that. Many times, you have a degree that nobody cares about.
Well, I'm totally in a field that isn't using my degree, but that's okay. It's what happens. It's all good.
That's true. Well, you went from doing occupational therapy to doing more occupational therapy.
Yeah, only in a tech setting, basically. Activities of daily living, digital. Yeah.
Digital. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
it's funny. I actually do use my OT stuff a lot.
Oh, I bet you do.
Task analysis and how I approach training.
Yeah, I bet you do. And it probably works really, really well.
It does. I was kind of surprised by how much of a natural fit it was to do, a lot of the instructional design part is the same part as the OT task analysis piece. So it's actually a pretty smooth transition, though it doesn't seem like it would be.
No, but it makes sense.
But I was kicking and screaming the whole way. I was graceless about it. I did not want to get into technology. I had no interest at all. Got laid off. The unemployment department said, go. And I went.
You took Doctor Who with you and never looked back.
Yeah, pretty much. I realized the other day it's been 16 years.
It's a long time.
And I'm like, oh, God.
And you're only 32.
Yeah, I've been 32 about 10 years now. Yeah, I actually called I was teaching yesterday with someone who was 28, and I didn't know how old he was, and I said, oh, I think you're about 32. He goes, did I not shave? I'm like, child, my clothes are older than you. Just stop. Please. So, oh my God.
Gotta love it.
Yes. So, you have a video about DevLearn.
We do. We have a video we took at the Expo hall, and it's about 7 or 8 minutes, and it's interviews with different people. We've got Pooja Jaising. We've got... folks from Lectora, Tara and Daryl from Lectora. We've got Helene from Articulate. She was fun. She's Danish, but sounds very German, and because she said she was very close to the German border. And A couple of other people. I think we've got Yuri Yuskov from iSpring just working at the booth, and the video is a little bit iSpring centric only because that was our base of operation. So we had to kind of leave all our stuff there. Excuse me, and we were working with the iSpring folks a little bit, just helping out, and they're good friends. And then we walked around a little bit, but we didn't get around enough in the expo hall. So for all the vendors we didn't get to see, it's not that we were shunning anybody. We just went quickly through our little quick area and then went back because we just didn't have the time. We shot for less than an hour. And we weren't technically supposed to shoot, so we had to be very quiet.
Yeah, this is the public display of the stealth video.
Well, David said I could shoot a little bit, so we shot a little.
We shot a little.
We shot
a little.
We didn't. And we were very unobtrusive. We didn't have lights on. We didn't do anything that would look like, hey, these guys are doing a massive production. What gives?
Yeah, you didn't go up and be like,
I had
I want to ask you a million questions.
No, I had a monopod and just walked around and stopped at a couple places. So anyway, do you want to see the video?
Yes, I would love to.
If you have your headset on, you could probably hear it from the stream. I'm not sure how that would work.
Well, I have the stream muted, so.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I will watch it on the repeat.
Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
Well, you read lips anyway. So here we go.
Yes, PowerPoint.
And then you can load it up to wherever you want, so that people would either have to pay commercial if you want to commercialize it. What have you learned at DevLearn, Summer? What's something they took away?
I would like to say that I came from Russia. It's quite a long way coming
trip.
to Las Vegas, and I'm a general manager of a startup company, Academate. We deal with education in medicine. It's doctors, pharmacists, medical representatives, and product managers of pharmaceutical companies. And we use iSpring for making educational modules, and we really like it very much. Our recent work is a module, educational role play, visit of a medical representative to a pediatrician doctor.
Oh, I love it.
We like this event, DevLearn, where for the first time on such conference and for the first time in Las Vegas, and we are really overwhelmed with emotions, and we are inspired by this conference.
Oh, so good.
Yes, and in our team we have professional photographers and designers, and we really want to create very, very good products.
Now, have you gone to some of the sessions, the breakout sessions?
Yes.
Lots of learning?
Lots of learning, very nice speakers, a lot of exchanging ideas. We went to booths of many companies, and so we really acquired a lot of information which we will use in our work.
That's wonderful. Well, welcome, and I'm glad to know that the United States is being represented by Vegas, because this is not what all of the United States looks like.
Excellent. My name is Helene, and I work for Articulate, and I love Storyline too. I love it for a few reasons. One of the reasons is that it's easy to use, and it's really fun to work with. The design has been updated a little bit, so it's just really intuitive and super fast to get used to and play with and work with, and it makes Workday like play, so that's really cool.
He evaluates not only the quality of the product, but
It has Quizmaker, has Presenter, it's full.
And what product do you have actually? Well, we actually check the output presentations of different devices using iSpring and using.
I'm here with Pooja Jaising from Adobe. Pooja, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Good. So can you tell the camera, all those people out there, can you tell us what's new with Captivate 8?
With Captivate 8, you have responsive e-learning. That's the biggest thing. And we recently had an update for Captivate, which is Captivate 801, which allows you to create responsive drag and drop interactions, which was missing in the previous version.
Okay.
Yep. And it's all fun. It's amazing. It allows you to create content for your mobile devices, for your tablets, and life is good.
That's great. That's great.
Hi, I'm Daryl Fleary with Trivantis, and we just came out with Lectora Online version 2. We're very excited about the new interface, which takes advantage of a lot of the nice features as our Lectora desktop product. We have a wonderful ribbon interface, easy to use action drop-downs, very easy publishing, one click to add special items like scripting, etc. Please check out Lectora Online version 2, you'll love it. And Tara's going to talk about what's coming up in Lectora Desktop version 12.
Hi, I'm Medeiros. I'm Director of Training here at Trivantis, and we're really excited about the upcoming release of Lector version 12. Lector is our desktop-based authoring tool, and in the next release you can expect to see such great features as image cropping, new effects that you can add to shapes and buttons, a lot you can do with your button states in the future. So we're really excited about a lot of the features that are coming up with V12, so we hope you'll check it out. And in the meantime, you can visit our website at www.lector.com. Thanks.
Adobe presenter. Yep. Good. Me
Most
too.
of the stuff I do is Captivate the storyline.
Okay. Yeah, that's really the popular stuff.
That's what
Something I've learned at the conference is that there's no one tool for anything.
That actually is very true.
I know.
Because there's always room for ice cream. I mean,
always room for ice cream.
there's always room for ice cream. It's kind of like there's always room for ice cream, but there's always room for ice spring. Yeah. Same, see? That's the new slogan.
As it should be.
So where's the ice cream?
Yeah. Well, yesterday. We missed it. It was yesterday. Yeah, there are tons of sessions, varying people of interest, from neuroscientists to lonely old instructional designers that try to figure out how to make all this work and do it on a budget of $0. Because that's the budget that you get.
Yeah, that's actually
and you hope that it's going to work, and that you're actually making a difference in the learners. That's all of our goal. It's why we come.
So what was the last session you went to?
I went to the learning process, so a project management process for an online program. So kind of using Addy, looking at that concept, a lot of stuff that we do already, but look for templates and different ideas. Sometimes I just want the data so that I can use it, and don't give me the high level stuff. Get into digging into it a little bit. It was nice. I did a panel with a lot of the heads of mobile. That was interesting because we haven't jumped into mobile yet.
So that was our little video interlude from DevLearn 2014. It was fun. But, you know, it's not the brightest of places in the expo hall, and we had no lighting, so we had to go just camera only. And for the geeks out there, that was shot with a Panasonic Lumix GH4, which is a 4K camera. So we shot it in 4K and then down converted it to 1080p, and it turned out pretty well. Considering no lighting, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, lots of chandeliers in that room. That was interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was watching the setup. I'm like, wow, that was tricky.
It was tricky, but it was fun. It was fun, and I didn't want to actually be in the interview with Pooja. She pulled me, and she goes, "No, I don't want to be alone. You come with me."
I feel so bad. I actually embarrassed Pooja in our presentation, and she forgave me for it. But I went up and I was co-presenting with her, and when I was introducing, I said, "Well, of course." And then there's Dr. Jasing, da 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 da, and it's Pooja. Say it with me, everyone. Pooja. And the entire room went, Pooja. And she turned, she blushes on a dime. So she turned bright pink. And I'm like, oh, sweetie. And afterwards, she's like, I didn't know you were going to do that. I'm like, you didn't?
No, that's why we
It's
do
me,
it. Yeah. If you knew, you
Yeah.
wouldn't have been there.
Hmm?
If she knew, she wouldn't have been there.
That's true. That's true. If she knew I had done it, she wouldn't have been there. But I was, I was on, theater shtick at that point. So now she knows. I will try to be more, more circumspect about putting Pooja on the spot. But it's like everyone knows her and everyone loves her. I don't think it's physically possible to dislike.
No,
Dr.
she's
Jasing.
adorable.
And if you can, there's something deeply wrong with you if you can manage to dislike that woman, because she's just one of the nicest people.
She's very adorable. That's why
She's adorable, and
yeah.
she's also super bright and sweet. And I've actually seen her mad once, and it was the cutest thing ever, because she does mad in a very quiet, very polite way. And I was watching it, going, "Wow."
I would assume
she's actually angry.
She's
and
probably,
she was like,
she's probably passive aggressive.
I don't know. She was quite polite about it. She, there was someone who was being an absolute and utter, complete jackass in a training, and there was, she was being very patient, being very patient, being very patient, and I watched as her face got a little bit tighter and her smile got a little bit more bright and brittle, and I was like, wow, now I know what it takes to actually make the woman mad. Because at that point, I was so furious with the woman who was driving everybody nuts that I was kind of wondering if Pooja could get mad. And then I saw, slowly
Oh, that's funny.
I'm being very patient.
And there you have it, the inside
yeah.
scoop on training at ALS.
Training at ALS. Well, yeah, this was previous years, so. But
Yep.
every year,
That's funny.
we have a good group.
There's always
We have
somebody.
a good group. You don't tend to have people mess with the room. You don't tend to have people
No.
catcall. And if you do have people that interrupt, they're pretty good. I mean, they're all education folks. They're pretty good about understanding not to take over the room. So,
Yeah, it's funny because whenever I do a session, and I did 2 at DevLearn, I always tell people, I don't have great eyes. So if you raise your hand, 50-50 chance I'll notice it, especially if the room's dark. So I say, you can interrupt. And they feel like, oh, I can't interrupt. And we don't like interrupting. We're trainers.
We're
I go,
trained not to
no.
interrupt.
Interrupt.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, you don't step on other trainers.
Yeah,
That's the
it's
that's
really
the,
funny.
That's the hard and
Everybody's
fast
very
rule.
polite. I keep no. You have carte blanche. Interrupt all you want. If not, you're going to be ignored. Then you'll feel badly. So
Yeah.
But it works
no,
out. It works out
I was
okay.
lucky. I got to, I didn't get to DevLearn this year. I will next year. But in the Adobe Learning Summit, which I cannot for the life of me called ALS, I just can't because
I know.
I'm sorry. It's Lou Gehrig's disease.
Yep.
I'm not. So Adobe Learning Summit. This time they hashtagged it Adobe LS, which I was much happier with. So that one is like, yes, that works. And it was good. Sarah and Damien and I'm going to miss names, but basically everybody was fantastic.
Yep.
I got to go and watch the presenters, and that's why I go is to watch people and to speak, and I love watching people work. So
Yeah,
it was
that's
good.
good.
It was a fun
Yeah,
time.
Damien's, I miss Damien. I liked him. I don't know if he stayed for the DevLearn. I think he may have, but I missed Trina Rimmer. She was there.
Mm-hmm.
Tracy Parrish. I missed everybody. I was going, well, where is everybody?
Yeah,
James,
I got to
I
watch
wanted to meet James.
Justin and Sarah, and
Okay.
their mobile presentation was awesome, and Josh, who was always good, and
Josh
just
left early, so I
everybody's-
didn't get to see him, but I didn't see Sarah. I think she was at DevLearn. So it was, people
I
were
think
in and
so.
out fast.
Well, actually, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I
So-
know that the sort of the demo presentation that they put on was excellent. Mm-hmm. It was a really good showing location and mobile, and it was a wonderful app that was location sensitive for getting information about hotels.
That's great.
So
Yep. I did
So
see
it's really
see Colleen Sun Lee and Diane Smith. So we saw them a little bit right after ALS. They were leaving, I think, the next morning. So we didn't get to see too much of them. I saw you for dinner on the day before DevLearn, and that was it. And then you took off. I think you had an early morning flight, right?
yeah, it was pretty fast. I mean, for those who haven't been to the Adobe Learning Summit, it's one of the smaller conferences, but it has a lot of really solid topics and solid people, and the presenters are generally quite decent, and it's fun because it's a really nice friendly group of attendees, and they all tend to kind of work together, and it's a nice atmosphere. I like it.
And a lot of people stay at both. Usually Adobe Learning
Yeah.
Summit and DevLearn are kind of attached together with one day in between for
Yeah.
people. I don't know if they did workshops on the day in between.
I think they did.
They did?
I think they
Okay.
did, but they are attached because the Adobe Learning Summit is advertised on the DevLearn website,
Right,
and in fact,
right.
it doesn't have its own separate website.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So that
which
makes
is
sense.
which is always funny to me because it's sort of a little it's a cap on the DevLearn experience.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's great because you get to see people from all different walks. And DevLearn's, I mean, you said it got 2,300,
2,600, I think.
2,600, so did really well.
So that's not bad at all. And it was a good group of people. I do think, and I need to talk to David about it, I think they could do a better job moving people to the Expo Hall. Because I don't think we had 2,600 people in the Expo Hall. It's also the Bellagio. I love the Bellagio. It's a gorgeous hotel. But this is the one thing I don't like about it. I don't think the convention center is laid out well there. There's a lot of walking. There's a lot of, where the heck is my room?
Yeah, it's actually, the one thing I would change, and the Adobe Learning Summit, the folks I know that were, in the staff running it are some of the most competent people ever.
They are. There's some good
so I know
people
it wasn't on them. But the signage, there are rooms that you have to go down this little hallway and there's a door, and that's the door to the room, but it's not super obvious how
Right.
you're supposed to go. So there was a certain amount of where are we supposed to be and how are we supposed to get there? And
Now, I did a morning buzz on Wednesday, at 7:15 a.m. and it was in a room with at least 200 seats. It was large, and we had 15 people at 7:15 in the morning.
Wow.
15.
That's...
And there was no coffee or refreshments or anything anywhere near our room. So nobody
that's
shows
not
up.
good.
So if you're going to bring people in the morning and the coffee's a block away, nobody's going to come.
Yeah. Well, 15 at 7,
It's
you know,
early.
that hour, that's
It's
actually
early.
not too shabby.
Yeah.
People actually at least came.
And my talk was on emotion and e-learning. So the only people there had emotional issues. I'm just joking. But
Yes, and let's insult every member of the audience so far.
Can you help me, doctor?
So should I show my...
Yeah,
my
so
demo?
what are you going to be showing us today?
All right,
I'm gonna switch to your
see.
other shot.
It's been ages since I've tried to share my screen, and we will make sure we're going to cross our fingers and pray to the Skype gods that everything is going to behave. But I have just this little Captivate file, and what I and Dr. Jasingh presented on was bringing Edge Animate into Captivate.
Ah, okay.
So Captivate 8 and Edge Animate together.
So how did that work? Pretty well?
The nice thing about it is that I really like what Captivate did with the different screen size pieces. And what I'm going to do is just tweak my screens a little bit here.
So did that work pretty well, doing the animate?
It works fine doing Animate. It's you know, what's funny is that I really like Edge Animate, but I also, you know, I enjoyed Flash.
Right.
And so for me, it's like, oh, well, this is the same in this way and different in this way. But it is definitely a program where it looks more intimidating than it really is.
Right, right.
So we didn't get into how to make the animations. We just took the animations and we published them out.
Now, isn't it similar to Flash from what I saw? I haven't played with it too much, but you
It's
still
a
have the
lot like
tweens.
Flash.
You have the tweens.
Yeah.
And, you know, it makes it pretty easy. It looks like Flash, older Flash, like maybe around MX time frame, before they got really, really heavy into ActionScript.
Yeah, and what's funny is that it. I found myself getting frustrated because there's a tool in Edge Animate that is the pin, and it makes doing the timeline and doing transitions and animations really, really easy.
Okay.
And being the dip that I am, of course, I tried doing it without the easy tool that does it for you. So I was really frustrated going, well, I want to do it this way, and it's just not doing it as well. And it was finally okay, dim bulb. Maybe you could use the super easy little blue push pin that helps you do it automatically. It's like, oh, all right, I guess. So I was being kind of a brat about it. But here, let me open up a couple of files and go in and share my screen. And this will be, you know, I mean, this is just a quick and dirty to show stuff off, to see if any of my students from the class are, you know, would find this useful. And
How many people did you guys have in that session?
you know, I'm not really sure. It was a pretty big room. It was a long room.
Yes.
And we didn't fill it, but we didn't have that many empty seats.
That's
so
good.
we did pretty well with it. All right, now when I'm sharing my screen, I'm finding it where? There it is. Share my screen. Share this one.
Every 2 weeks you have a new interface in Skype too, which makes it really fun.
Yeah,
Okay, right
every
now,
couple
there you
of
go.
hours, right?
I see your
some
screen.
software has to change. Okay, so it looks like I'm showing.
Yes.
Okay, so this is my quick and dirty little Adobe Learning Summit demo that I threw together, and Pooja was kind about it because I showed it to her, and she's a very gentle soul, so every once in a while she'd be like, "Do you want to change that?" I'm like, I can change that. And she's like, just click this button right here and change that setting. I'm like, okay. And she only did it a few times, but every time she seemed to feel bad about it. And it's like, no, you're the person who has the most experience. You've got the advanced degrees. So yeah, please give me feedback. So this is basically the idea is just a little detective book. And what's nice about Captivate is that if you look at, you know, the screen size, and then you take it to what the tablet size is, you can adjust for what the tablet size displays and what I consider my mobile display. So it'll pop into the mobile display in a second, and the buttons move to the bottom and so on. So you control all of that as to when you get different screens, what the breakpoints are, and what, you know, the transition, what it looks like when you're in a different modality. Okay. So So this one, it's just, here, I'll go ahead and run this one from the top for a quick second and do preview. So in Edge Animate, what I did is I made a logo, and I'm keeping half an eye on Skype to see if it shows. No, and it's popping over here. So let me click OK on that and bring it this way. All right, let me refresh. So I get this little warning because I did this in Firefox instead of Chrome.
Oh.
And I didn't do the JavaScript to make Firefox behave because Firefox is very crabby. So this is the preview. So in the browser, you actually get to see the different sizes and test the file in the different sizes. So you can go in and say, I'm going to the demo file, and then come back and see this is what it looks like in this version.
Well, they took sort of the same approach they did in Muse. I don't know if they borrowed some of the technology, because Muse does the same thing. You design one, and then you just kind of redesign and rearrange a little bit, and you have design
and
too.
You get the breakpoints and the screen. It's actually, I like it, and it is very Muse-like. It's quite intuitive.
Yeah.
So this was just, taking material that's pretty dry. So in this case, FDCPA, so the Fair Debt Collections Practices Act, which
exciting.
you and I know is a little on the dry side.
That's very exciting.
When you're trying to do e-learning.
Yep.
So this is George. George has been getting hassled by a creditor. Here's his story. He's not sure if it's kosher. What are you going to do? And talk to the neighbor. The neighbor is this wonderful creature here. And I love the artist on Fotolia I bought this artwork from because it's perfect. The expression, the arms, everything. She's just, George is such a deadbeat. And you go back and it checks it off. And you go and ask the legal expert and then go back and it checks that off. And then you have to judge about solving the case. So the thing about this is that the Edge Animate piece is the front logo, and this one, which I just put a simple animation from Photoshop in just that shows the guy blinking, so that it's a little bit more interesting than just, a static one.
Sure.
And then we wanted to show the difference in Edge between when you do a percentage-based scaling, and I'll actually show it in a second, but so there's this bonus material, and this is the most hideous monster ever, and this is my responsibility because I was lazy. And so, I've got this guy here, and then when I try it in different sizes, things move. So as I'm adjusting, things breathe. Okay, so that's kind of what the demo itself looks like. Well, this in the Captivate file is one of the pieces, and you can go in and just put in HTML5 animation. You can also put it in as just a web object, it behaves the same way. So all you're doing is placing it. And it's pretty easy to place if you're not generating it. So in Edge Animate, and as I said, the interface is a little intimidating at first. So, it's got all these different pieces, and the fact that it's dark probably doesn't help. I could change the lighting on it, but it's, this I find actually pretty comfortable on my eyes. So this guy here, I just have, if I scrub the playhead, it just rolls. He doesn't do anything except the spinner moves. That's it. So when you set this up, it's a matter of what you want to set. And what we did is went through and looked at this piece here, and I'll bring the properties. Come on.
How popular do you think Edge Animate is right now?
Sorry?
How popular do you think Edge Animate is right now?
I think it's growing. I think it's quite, people really need to discover it because it's actually a heck of a lot of fun. It really is. And the nice thing about it that I really love is there's lessons built into it. And this is my absolute favorite piece of Edge Animate at all, is the lessons panel on the right-hand side. If you click any of these and say, well, I want to know how to animate with keyframes, it gives you a lesson. You can open the sample file, and then it walks you through how to do the sample file and what to change.
Nice.
And so you have built-in training in here, but it's really straightforward and clean. Yeah. And it's not like some tutorials where you're going, oh, God, I'm changing 7 million settings. Why? Here, you only change a few settings, and they explain every single one of them.
Okay.
So it's good. On the left here, on the properties, it says responsive scaling. So this is one of the new features. And do you want this to scale responsively? Do you want, as you resize this thing, do you want it to go ahead and, and pop? So if I pop that up in a browser here, because it's responsive, I can do this and the thing will resize.
That's pretty cool.
So it's quite flexible and quite easy. So I did the logo in that one. And then Harry is a sprite sheet, and there's also a nice sprite sheet tutorial in the lessons here. And he's also responsive scaling just for width.
You know, when you said Harry, I keep thinking of the old IT testing names.
Oh,
and you know what I'm thinking of, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. We'll leave it. So. We'll leave it at that. It started with it started with a W.
I'm not sure. I think I might be missing it.
ANG.
Oh, yes. Okay. There we go. Boy, I'm slow on the uptake today. I have not had my coffee. My God. So this one, which is the hideous monster that I got lazy on, this I didn't do the responsive scaling. This one we did percentage scaling. So we set the width for 100%. And then these elements, if you click on an element, you can actually pin it. So say that this one actually stays to the right. And, whoops, overshot here. This guy over here, he's going to stay to the left. And these text boxes are also going to be percentage based. Now, what that does is that means that when you pop it up in a browser, and I'll just drive that. Come on. You going to do it for me? Let's try that one more time. Yes. My keyboard shortcut's not doing it. Come on, you. Oh, that's odd. All right, I will switch back to... I don't know why my keyboard shortcut is not working for me. So I'll just do it this one. So I'll go back into the preview from Captivate here and show it. So what's nice about this is that if I hop all the way forward in this guy, and I will just jump through all of these screens. And let's just keep going. And I don't have to worry about doing anything. I'll just skip the quiz and bonus material. So in here, as I move it to the right, as I move it to the left, as I move it to the right and left in here, as I drag, there we go, it starts to breathe. But you notice the right-hand scroll stays to the right, but that's because it's pinned. And as I bring it in, the text is going to wrap because the text is set for percentage. So it'll do that. It'll just flex. So it was really, really quick and dirty. I mean, it wasn't by any means a, super sexy demo, but I just wanted to show that you could bring in these elements and have them be something that adds just a little bit of flavor. So you've got, some interaction with advanced actions, you've got a quiz, and then at the end, you've got this piece that, there we go, there's our guy, that will load in and just start transitioning.
Now, when you were doing the Edge Animate, how hard did you find it to actually learn it and get into it?
What I found is once I got over my ego, it was remarkably easy. Okay. And that was the weird part, because I came into it doing I'll do it the way I'm used to doing it. So I just started playing in the timeline, and this right here is the little thing called the pin, and this makes animation criminally easy. It's just wonderful. And I didn't use it because I was being stubborn and everything was harder. So when I finally got over myself and went, oh, maybe I should use the feature they invented to make it easy, then it was just incredibly simple.
Okay, good.
And then like I said, in the lessons, you actually go through, there's a whole thing in the keyframe piece where it's about the pin. Right. So it actually shows you that you can set your ease in and out. So, how it slides in is a little faster on the end, faster on the beginning, and then moving the playhead to a specific position, double clicking the playhead. and that sets the pin, and you start doing items, and it walks you through exactly how to do it.
Okay, that's cool.
So that was the demo, and I just wanted to kind of get that on the podcast so that I have a recording. So if anybody from my session wanted to see the kind of super fast version, because we did the walkthrough of this in an hour, talking about each screen and each step and publishing it. The one last piece that I will show is in Edge, how you get an Edge Animate. So if you haven't created it, but you have the file, and you just go in and you want to go into, whoops, did I click the wrong screen? I did. I need publish settings, Kirsten. There we go. So in publish settings, you just use this guy here, an animate deployment package. So it's an OAM file. So what you're doing to get this into Captivate or into InDesign or things like that is you just go ahead and produce this by saying, where do you want me to go? Okay, I want to go to my desktop. Make sure you have a name for it, and then just hit publish or hit save and then publish when you're ready, and you've made an OAM file. So if I minimize these guys, I now have this logo new OAM file right on my desktop. And all you do in Captivate is you just take it, and I was doing it this way through just web, and Pooja was doing it this way, HTML5, so I will defer to her knowledge and say that this is the better way to do it, though they both work fine. Media, HTML5, you go and grab the OAM file, and you're good to go. And it'll, when you hover, it'll run it. So you've pretty much got it, and the properties for that file, you can make some changes to it, but it's just ready to go. When you publish, it just behaves beautifully. So that's it. Quick and dirty, super, super fast. And I will go ahead and unshare my screen. And maybe we'll see whether or not Skype loves me today, whether it switches back to me or whether it hangs and hates me. So what do we got? Are we back to me or not?
We are back to you.
Oh, hey! Skype doesn't hate me today. Woohoo! Groovy. Okay, so that's very, very simple, but just as a quick demonstration of how you can bring elements in. And Edge has some wonderful tutorials for learning modules, sort of learning games and interactions, and it's reasonably intuitive. The interface can be a little daunting, but if you use the lessons panel, it'll walk you through it in a nice, clean way. I think they did a good job.
I don't know if you remember, in the old days, After Effects, you needed pretty much a doctorate in astrophysics to be able to figure it out. And they've done amazing things to make it easy now, or easier.
It seems like that there's, now this is my bias, and this is where the folks from Adobe are going to whack me in the back of the head when they hear this or see this. It just seems like that the tutorials have been taken more seriously in the last, 5, 8 years. I don't know.
They've advanced.
There was always good tutorials, but there was always ones that were just
right,
wrong. And now when they have the built-in stuff, it seems like that gets kicked by more people. More people get hands-on and get to beat it up. So they tend to be cleaner.
Right.
They tend to be a lot less, because the problem with some of the tutorial material, like the Adobe Classroom in a Book material, is quite good if you're self-teaching, as long as you're patient, because the material is incredibly fussy. And you have to do every single step correctly or the end doesn't work. And that's not how humans actually work. So it's something where if you're a dedicated, very patient person, you can learn very, very well. But you have to get every single step right.
Right.
And so sometimes Adobe tutorials have been that kind of fussiness level. And it seems like now they're really making it so you got 3 things to do. Do these 3 things. See how it works? Now watch what happens if you change number 2. And it's much more flexible. So I don't know if I'm just more tolerant than I used to be, or if the material's gotten better.
I think they have gotten better. I think the approach in training has gotten better.
Yeah, it's certainly it's certainly there feels for me not, and this isn't an Adobe thing, this is a training thing. It feels like over the course of the last 15 years that it's become a lot less cool to treat training as, I have the golden nugget that I'm handing to you, you poor helpless sap who are coming to get my wonderful knowledge. And it seems like there's a lot less of that garbage. And now material actually has to be friendly and intuitive and understandable. And students who don't get it aren't stupid. They're just people.
Yeah, I call that the Scientific American conundrum. In the old days, nobody could read Scientific American because it was 100% jargon. They weren't trying to teach. They were trying to impress.
Yeah, my mother, who's the brightest woman I've ever met, and she's, multiple degrees. She's a very phenomenally intelligent person. She taught me early on that jargon was a really offensive thing. Because she's in fields where jargon is very heavy, and her job was always to translate between the jargon head and the client or the staff person or whoever. And they loved her for it because she could translate from snob into English. And so she taught me early on that jargon is just a great way of sort of proving that you're smarter than everyone else, and it's really rude. So there's some environments where I go in and it's so jargon heavy, I have to sit there being careful because my instinct is to go, well, that's great. So what you really mean to say is, and to translate it, because it's like, I'm sorry, but I don't move forward. I'm not moving forward.
Well, no, and I was in IT for over 20 years, and from programmer all the way up to vice president of IT. And I used to, when I talk to people, I would say something like, what is this, blah, blah, blah. And they'd answer, and I'd go, now English. I understood what they were saying, but they needed to be able to communicate to end users. And the thing is, you can't talk stuff nobody understands.
No, there's sorry.
And that's just, good, clear communications. Otherwise, you're marginating the people you're trying to either teach, impress, or whatever else. They're just going, I don't know what that person just said.
Yeah, and adults don't like to point out when they don't understand. That's not an adult learner thing.
Well, that's only because they've been taught.
Very few people go, I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Yeah, but unfortunately they should. That's actually a better thing.
But that's just not how most adults are.
Well, that's because nobody wants to admit in a corporate environment they don't know something.
Yeah, in any environment. I don't have any students in my classroom that raise their hands and say, I'm sorry, I'm lost. I have to watch for the signs.
Right, like the eyes rolling back into the head.
And all of that tells me that person's not getting it.
Sure. Well, we are at the end of our time. We went almost an hour.
Okay.
That was good. And we're just before 10 a.m., minutes before, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Well, anyway, that was fun.
Yeah, so thanks for letting me do that. I just wanted to capture it on film so that, if it's coherent, and I'll watch it later and decide.
Yeah. We'll have this
then
up.
I'll send that off to
We're going to render it quickly, and then we'll have it up in about an hour or two.
Okay. Awesome.
Well, good. Well, thanks for co-hosting today. We appreciate it.
No problem.
And next week we have a guest on eMediaChat, I believe.
Oh, I hope so.
I think we do. I think we have Matt Baker on next week.
Cool.
Matt Baker
cool. And there's a couple people I want to chase down, so I will.
And Matt Baker is voiceover guy.
Ooh.
Matt Baker. He does a lot of stuff on Discovery Channel and a whole mess of other things. And I know one of the shows he does, I think, Real Stories of NCIS or something like that. He does a whole mess of shows.
Very cool.
And we've worked with him a couple of times, and he's a funny guy. He's a good guy.
Cool.
Matt Baker.
Cool. I look forward to it.
Yep, should be fun. He's going to talk all about
next
voiceover.
Wednesday.
Yeah, because voice is very important in what we develop. So
it is.
It's good. He'll give some good advice and have some fun with them. All right. Well, hey, you have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. We're doing a Friday today, so it's a little bit off for us. and don't be on too much on that Edge Animate.
Yeah, no, I'll be good. I'll be good. I'm actually taking a couple of days to chill out.
That's good. Enjoy the
weekend. I did my
weekend.
Apple demo. I did my classes. I'm good.
Enjoy the demo. Anyway, folks, thanks for being there. And if you are watching in the live, watching live on Ustream, there's a follow button up there and one down here. Click it.
Click the orange button.
Click it. You must click it. Look into my hands. Click the button. Yes.
Yes.
It's pretty unobtrusive. It'll just tell you when we're on the air so you don't miss any shows.
Yeah.
And if you're watching the recording on Vimeo, there's a subscribe button. Subscribe. Because if you don't subscribe, we don't know you're there. And if we don't know you're there, we don't care. No, I'm just kidding. But we want your feedback. Let us know what you think. Good, bad, indifferent. What could be better? What could be worse? Well, we know what could be worse. So what could be better? Let's stick to the better. And we will see you guys next week. Thanks, and have a good one. Bye, Kirsten.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching.